Welcome to this video lecture on how to make audio and video recordings for linguistic research. In this video, I will show how to set up recording equipment and how to use it. First of all, you may wonder why to make video recordings at all when you are interested in spoken language. Why not just audio? Well, language is more than speech. Facial expressions and gestures are part of it. Sometimes they are very important to understand what a person means. And in general, a recording captures the context in which speech is uttered. Of course, it depends on the culture and personal preferences, but in many cases, the participants of a research project are also they also like video recordings because they can watch them again later and show them to family members and friends. So in the following, I will first give some general advice on making video and audio recordings. Then I will introduce the equipment I use for the demonstration which follows, and finally demonstrate how to use and set up this equipment and how to make a recording. First of all, choose a quiet place for a recording. Take into account that a place close to a rarely frequented street might seem quiet, but occasional motorcycles passing by can be very disturbing. Also consider possible background noises, which you might not notice at the first place, such as, for example, an electricity generator. Also consider the time of the day. There are always times which are busier and less quiet than other times of the day. For example, in Indonesia, the late afternoon is usually a very busy time of the day, so therefore it's not a good time to make a recording. When making a video recording for linguistic research or language documentation, always include the whole upper body of the speaker. Leave at least an arm-length space around the person recorded to make sure that gestures can also be fully visible. Avoid zooming in and zooming out during the recording or moving the camera around. Otherwise, you might miss to record important gestures or facial expressions. Also, don't record people in front of a bright light such as a window. Avoid overhead lights which create shadows. If possible, you can also bring an extra light to light the scene from the direction of the camera. Use an external microphone which is ideally connected to the camera. This ensures much better audio quality, which is essential for language research and documentation. If your external microphone cannot be connected to the camera, but is connected to another audio device, then always clap in front of the camera before starting. This clap recorded at the same time on the video and the audio device will enable you later to align them properly. And always use a second audio device as a backup. This can be an audio recorder or it can also be a phone. Right. So in the following, this is the equipment needed for making a recording with good quality audio and for the purpose of linguistic research or language documentation. First, we need a camera with a plug-in option for an external microphone. Then the microphone itself with a cable to connect it to the camera. Both camera and microphone need to be placed on a tripod. Then we need a pair of headphones and also a separate audio device as a backup. So next to this basic equipment, we also need batteries and memory cards for all devices. Always have a couple of them extra. With only one battery and one memory card per device, you may quickly run into trouble. So, batteries, memory cards for all devices. And then, optionally, you may add a second pair of headphones and a headphone splitter. This makes it possible to listen to the recording later together with the speaker via headphones. Listening via headphones usually gives a much better listening quality, in particular if otherwise only an inbuilt speaker of a laptop or a camera is available. With background noise around, this makes it sometimes very difficult to hear. Well, in addition, you can also have a mini tripod for the backup audio recorder. That might also be a good choice. Before demonstrating now how to use this equipment, quickly a few more words on light. As I already mentioned, it's important to choose the right place for the camera and the participants, who might sit on a table, for example, and pay attention to the light. The camera should never be positioned facing a light source, such as a window. The best light usually comes from the same direction as the camera. So in the video you will see in a bit, the windows are behind the camera and at the sides. So now you will see a demonstration on how to set up equipment for a recording session.
Okay, so this is the recording equipment you need for a typical recording video and audio recording session. First, let's look at the camera. So this is our video camera, and it goes together with a tripod where we will mount it on, and with a battery and an SD card. Then we have an external microphone to make the sound better, which will be connected to the camera with this cable. And the last thing is our audio recorder to make an additional backup recording, which will be mounted on a mini tripod, and it has an SD card for storage. And we also need headphones, can be simple headphones or other ones to make a sound check. So now I will show you how to set this up. So typically we have a table and some chairs for our participants to sit on, and we will first place the tripod. So now we can mount the camera on the tripod. Before we do that, we plug in the battery and the SD card, both very important. And also when you do that, so don't switch the camera on before you have put the SD card, but this one switches on automatically, so I will switch it off again. Then I insert the SD card here. Okay, and now I switch it on again, and I can also check whether the battery is still full and the SD card is empty. It will give me some information. Okay, now I fix it on the tripod. So there, first I have to fix the camera on this upper part, and then I have to make sure that this is also fixed. So every tripod is a bit different here, but so for this one so this is fixed, and I have a good. So if you do this, ask your participants already to sit there, so you can check what a good position of the camera is and whether all of them are in the picture and there's enough space also free around them to see them moving, and maybe their arms and speaking. Okay, so if this is set up, we can leave it like this for now and connect the microphone. So the microphone should be in front of the speaker. So that's why we need a table, or at least a small table is very useful. And because the microphone and the camera are far apart, we need to connect them usually with an extra cable. And for this camera we have a microphone plug in here. Right. Also important, make sure the microphone is switched on. And the last thing, we also want to have a backup. So we have here an audio recorder which uses an SD card. Well, that's here. This one over here. Okay. Right, and to make it stand better, I put it on this little tripod. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is the setup which should be ready before you start the recording. So now what do you need to do right before starting or before the speakers start to speak? So first I switch on the camera and the microphone. So the external microphone also needs to be switched on. So when both are switched on, we will make a sound check and see whether it actually works and if the sound is audible. So I plug in the headphones and so now I would typically ask a participant to say a few words. Now I'm hearing myself, that's also proof enough that the microphone is working. And I can also recheck whether the selection, the picture is nice here, the people are visible and the lighting is well fine. If that's all good, I can switch on the backup audio recorder, so don't forget that as well. Okay, I switch it on, it doesn't record yet, so now everything is on. And now we need to start the recording, we need to start both. It doesn't matter which one first, maybe the backup first and then the camera. So for this audio recorder, and probably for most, you have to press twice before it actually starts recording. So if you only press the recording button once, you can make a sound check also with this, but to start recording, you have to press twice. Right, so now this is recording, I can see the time running here. Now I switch, also start the recording on my camera. Right, so now both are on. You can take your time, the speaker doesn't have to start speaking immediately, but now everything is ready to start the discussion with the speaker. Okay, so basically you can leave your camera and backup audio recorder running throughout the whole session until you are completely done. But sometimes this can take quite a long time, so it's very important to keep in mind how long your battery is going to last and also how long your storage space is going to last. So in the beginning, when you check your camera, usually the camera tells you how many hours you have left. So it's good to start with a full battery and an empty card. every new recording, but still, just to be sure, from time to time, check your camera and see whether there's still enough battery space and enough storage space. And if it's going towards the end, you can also interrupt the recording and change the battery or the card if necessary. So, but if everything is recorded, your devices were running until the end, then you stop the recording, both of them. I stopped the backup recording here first, and then I stop the camera. And now I have to switch off three things. One is the microphone, very important to switch that one off as well to save the battery. Then I switch off the audio recorder, and I switch off the camera. Okay, now the only thing which is left to do to pack all the recording back. So it's useful to have a certain routine on how you do that, so that you can just do it while you are maybe talking to people or doing other things, but and you don't forget anything. So I will just take this routine from starting from here to the back. So I will start with the microphone, and the microphone has the extra cable, they belong together. So this. And they go into their case. Okay, so this is our equipment neatly packed into small bags, and yeah, also the headphones. And yeah, then you're ready.
Finally, let me summarize again the steps to prepare a recording session. First, position the camera on a tripod in front of the scene. Second, position the external microphone on a tripod on a table in front of the speaker. Then connect microphone and camera. Place backup audio device next to the microphone. Check battery and memory cards in all devices, and do a sound check with headphones. Also important, check the lighting of the scene, improve it if possible, and check the technical settings of the video camera, such as white balance, focus, and brightness if necessary. And when all is set up, start the recording of the camera and of the backup device. As mentioned during the demonstration, for most recording sessions, you may just leave the camera and the audio recorder running until the end. There's no need to pause in between, zoom in or out, or change the position of the camera. Bear in mind, the main purpose of the recording here is documentation of the scene and gaining a good audio quality. And after the recording, make sure to switch off camera, external microphone, and audio recorder properly, and copy the recordings to a laptop, an external hard drive, or both as soon as possible.